Hello. Hello, artists. Welcome. All right, there's already quite a few of us logged in. That's awesome. Couple more minutes before 1 o'clock, so we'll wait and see if more people tune in. Let me know in the chat where you guys are from. I'm in London, Ontario, in Canada. I just love to see how far this reaches. Let me know where you're from. I'm sure a number of you are kind of within my vicinity. Okay, so I think I've got some pretty good lighting today. Frosty Butts is what we're doing, but you knew that. Of course, I'm the one who's brought you numerous other butt paintings. So looking back, last summer's when the series started with Safari Butts. Let me know if you've done maybe all of the butt series or maybe some of the butt series. So we had Safari Butts, Barnyard Butts, Woodland Butts, and now we have Frosty Butts. Okay, we got some comments coming in. Texas, awesome. Sudbury, a little further north. So we are going to do all of these, Angie. So I'm going to do all 4 on one. But if you have, say, a number of smaller canvases, you can choose which ones you want to do on each canvas. So maybe you want to do the cat, the corgi, and the bunny on your 3 canvases. Or I don't know what size each of those is. Maybe you want to do all 4 on one. Up to you. What if you're using paper? You can do each sort of quadrant on a separate piece of paper. That would work. Good question. South Carolina. Hello. Tennessee. Hello. Indiana and Maine. Ohio. Hello. Newfoundland. Awesome. And in Milton, so pretty close to me. Yeah, so I'm not in the Durham region myself. I'm a little bit southwest. But in this online age, I can teach from anywhere. Welcome, welcome. Nova Scotia, Ottawa, super, super. All over the place, all over Ontario, all over the States. North Carolina, welcome. All right, it is 1 o'clock. We will get started. So it's called Frosty Butts. Different butts here. So I went with like pet butts, but you can change this. What if you want to do like a grizzly bear butt and a deer's butt? You could definitely change this to suit maybe your decor or your tastes. Definitely change the colors of the animals. So say you have a white rabbit at home. You have a German Shepherd dog at home. You want to change the coloring. Absolutely do that. You can even change the colors of, like, say, the backgrounds that I'm doing, the hats and scarves. What if instead of I did kind of a rainbow of colors, so maybe you want to tone that down, maybe do like dark blue, light blue, and then you could go dark blue, light blue. Kind of tone down those bright colors, and then for like hats and scarves, maybe you just want to be consistent and everyone has red hats and scarves as an example. Change any colors, anywhere, and change the animals if you want to. I'd love to see all the different variations, maybe individual on separate pieces of paper, separate canvases. Doesn't have to be all on one kind of thing. I want to see all those variations. So let's talk about the supplies that I have here, and then I don't know if you know this, but even though we're on a live feed, you can pause, and you can also set the playback back. You can rewind. So if you do need to go grab something, you forgot something, just hit pause, go grab it, scuttle back, and resume, and then you can kind of catch up. You can't fast forward me, though. Unless you're watching this on the replay after the live, then you can fast forward me. I do tend to drone on. So let's talk paint. This is an acrylic painting. You could do this in, say, watercolor. If you wanted to do that in watercolor or oils, maybe you just have colored pencils or pastels at home. You could definitely do this in a number of mediums, but I'm going to do acrylic paint today. So here is my fancy palette. It's a styrofoam container. It have a lot of paint here. That's just built up dried paint from earlier. I've got white. I've got black. Most, if not all, the paintings we teach, you need some white and some black. 3 primary colors, so red, yellow, and blue, with just those 5 colors, white, black, and the 3 primary colors. You can make anything you want. Purple, greens, oranges, gray, pink. You can make turquoise. So if you just stock those 5 basic colors in your house, you're good to go. You don't have to buy the 48 pack of the whole rainbow of acrylic paints. Just get big amounts of the basic 5. That's all you really need. I have paintbrushes, of course. They don't have to be fancy. Mine are kind of junky. They're well used. I've got like a big, a medium, and a small. Like mine are flat, but if you want to use round brushes, you can use round brushes. Maybe you don't have something as big as that big one. Maybe you have something more like this, like a little spongy on a dowel. You can use that to paint big areas of the background instead of the big brush. Yeah, big, medium, small, background, like animals, fine details. That's all you need. Okay, I've got a cup of water to wash my brushes and a rag, or you can use paper towel. Paper towel would be just fine. I use a rag because it's more green. I do have a ruler to help me draw the lines. If you don't have a ruler, that's fine. You could just literally just eyeball it, or use the edge of a magazine, the edge of a book to help you draw a straight line, and a pencil. We are going to do sketching. We'll sketch out our little pets. If you don't have a pencil handy, you can do your sketch in paint, like use your thin brush and a little bit of gray paint. Today I'm just going to use the pencil, just to keep it simple. Pencil, I mean an eraser if you want to adjust things. And then in the comments, pinned to the top comment there, I did mention scissors and a little bit of thin cardboard. This will be used like at the very last to make our snowflakes. So we'll do the background, we'll do the animals, and then we'll do all the snowflakes to make it look really frosty. So thin cardboard like a cereal box or granola bar box or oatmeal box or a macaroni and cheese box, that kind of thin cardboard. So just cut out little rectangles. This will help me stamp. We're essentially stamping the lines for our snowflakes. You can paint them if you just want to paint them with your thin brush, but I like this stamping method with a thin bit of card, scissors, and that. But that's the last step. So even if you wait till the end, hit pause, and then go run off and grab that. Put on an apron or like a smock or a t-shirt that you don't mind getting a little bit painty. And then some kind of surface. So I'm going to use a canvas. You can use paper. You can use a rock. You can use a t-shirt. Paint on whatever surface you want to paint on. I've even seen people paint directly on a wall. They just took masking tape, made a rectangle on their wall, and just painted directly. It was wild. I loved it. Oh, I've also seen someone paint on the back of a person, like their husband's back. That was hilarious. Maybe not today. It's a little cold to be undressing someone to paint on them. But that was really funny. Put down a tablecloth or newspaper to protect your table surface. Let me roll up my sleeves. I know I'm going to get paint. I always get paint on my forearms. I don't want that on my Christmas sweater. So grab your ruler and your pencil. You can measure. You can make it perfectly in the middle. You can just eyeball it. Let's go right here. I always make a couple little marks. And then I need to go this way. So half and half, 4 quadrants that are even-ish. So I'll do a horizontal line right across the middle. I'm going to draw a little bit dark so you can see the line. Can the camera see that line? Yeah. So my canvas today is a 16 by 20. Your canvas can be any size, any shape. What if you want to do this painting on a square? It doesn't have to be rectangular. An oval. That would be fine too. And these don't have to be perfect. We're going to be painting. It's going to get covered up. Don't worry about, like, if I'm drawing and then I make a weird line, that's fine. That's okay. So there's roughly in half and in half. What if you have a really big canvas and you want to do 6 or 8 quadrants? Well, it wouldn't be a quadrant. Sections. And do several cats, several dogs. Throw a pet hamster in there, guinea pig. All right, I'm going to start sketching. I'll start in the same kind of order. If you want to do, you know, your corgi here instead of here, that's fine. If you want to do your bunny over here instead of your bunny over there, that's fine too. Literally anything, anywhere, any color. Okay, corgi butt. Big, wide butt. So his back, a little higher than half. So if this is half, a little higher. So this is like the top of his back. And go real wide, almost to the edges. Almost to the edges there. As wide as you can go. Try to make this nice and dark so you can see. Can the camera see that? I think so. Maybe put it in the middle. Look at this shape. That might be easier to see. And then really chunky legs. And then this is the back of his paw, so we don't really need a lot of detail on the back of his paw, his or her. Little stumpy legs. And this is a cartoon version of animals. They don't have to be realistic proportions. That's fine. And then a very poofy wide tail. Sort of like the shape of a leaf. You might say the shape of a leaf. Yeah, it might be hard to see the pencil on the white, but look at the shape of here. That leafy shape. And then his little head, just a half of a circle peeking out a little bit. That's his head. And big ears. Big ears kind of going out like this. Sort of triangular. Save some room for a hat. We want a hat in the middle here, so save a little room. And the ears, again, remind me of the shape of a leaf. A leaf-esque. I dropped my pencil. Okay, and a hat. I'm gonna just draw the toque part of the hat. I'm not gonna draw like the pom-pom. We can just do the pom-pom with paint, so I don't need to like draw that. Or any kind of head where you want. Do you want him to have more of an elf kind of a hat? More of a, it could be earmuffs. What if you want him to wear a top hat? Sure, go for it. Any kind of headgear, maybe no headgear. So here's my little hat. Again, I'm not going to draw the pom-pom. No real sense. And then a bit of a scarf is peeking out. So do you want your scarf going this way? Do you want your scarf going this way? Maybe no scarf. Maybe instead of a scarf, you want to put, dogs have jackets, like doggy coats. Put one of those on. Put little boots. Maybe you have those little doggy booties you want to put on your dog. I'll make a little scarf flying out here. Just like curvy rectangles. Maybe you don't want to have a scarf because maybe you ran out of room. Maybe do it on this side. Yeah, so like a little hint of a scarf. Again, I'm not going to draw like the little scarf yarn fringe. I'll just do that with paint. So that's literally all we need to draw for that. That's done. Kitty cat bottom. I think the kitty cat is my favorite just because of that like perfectly placed discreet snowflake right there. All right, kitty cat. So again, I'm probably going to start like with the back of the cat, higher than the corgi. So a little higher for the cats. That maybe about here. And thinner. It's thinner. It's not wide like this guy. And we've drawn shapes like this before with barnyard butts, with woodland butts. I'm thinking like the llama shape, the deer shape. And cats have thin legs, so let's divide that into 2 legs. Really thin legs. And again, this is the back of the paw, so we don't really need a lot of detail on the back of the paw. It can just kind of rounded little stump on the very bottom. Back of the cat paw, not very detailed. If it's tough to see the pencil on the white, look to the shape over here. It's still in the frame. Okay, I like to do like a curling tail. Maybe you would prefer your tail to go down or curl up and over like this. However you want your cat's tail. Maybe about here. Maybe you have a very fluffy cat and it has like a bushy tail. You can draw it bushier than this. Just roughly like that. And there's some space between tail and there where we're going to put a snowflake to represent the little bum hole there. So there's some space there for later. And then kind of in here, have a head with a hat. Let's get a little head going. Yeah, oval or half circle. Cat ears are triangular. We know that. Triangle ears, and then a little hat, a little toque, a little, could be a headband, you could have earmuffs, a little toque. Again, I'm not going to draw the pom-pom. I will draw the scarf. So on this one, I have the scarf coming out this way. My scarves are kind of blowing in the wind, but if you want yours to hang more down, that's fine. Something like that. That's really all we need to sketch. I mean, if you know for sure you want to have different color patches on your cat, you can sort of divide that up. Like if you want to definitely have socks on him, you could just draw yourself like a little line to remind yourself, like white versus black. If your cat has a white tipped tail, you can do a little line. Or any other patches. Maybe your cat has white on its side or stripies. Add any little details like that. Okay, let's do bunny. Nice big bunny. What would you call that shape? Like an avocado shape or a pear shape for the body? Avocado. It's a pretty good description. So leave some room for a head plus ears. Don't forget we need ears too. So maybe head here and then ears. So maybe my body's right here. As big and fat and lumpy as you want. You can have a really wide rabbit. Maybe you have quite a thin, sleek rabbit at home. You want to thin it out. I'm going almost all the way to the bottom. And just a round circle for the tail or a cloudy shape. You can always add fluffy detail to that, even if you just draw a circle. Okay, so some kind of roundish, ovalish head. You know, your standard bunny ears. Do you want both the ears up and out? Do you want them straight up? Do you want one kind of like flopping, like a little bent ear? Maybe both flopping. Maybe you have a lop-eared rabbit and they're both down. I had a lop-eared bunny, so both the ears were just fully down all the time. Whatever ear style you like. And they don't even have to be the same, you know. Rabbit ears, they'd be similar, just they have a little bit of different characteristics. What if your rabbit has a little tip of it missing from a rabbit fight? Could happen. Same with your cat. What if your cat at home is missing like a little bit of his ear? Okay, little bunny ears, perky bunny ears, a little toque, a little hat. And this scarf, I have the scarf going this way in this case. I have it kind of going like this and across. I guess earmuffs wouldn't really work for a bunny, because you just have those little circle. Where would you? Your whole ear is exposed. Oh, feet. He doesn't have any feet yet. Little feet kind of sticking out the bottom, like little ovals, or just a little bit of it peeking out. If I'm getting ahead of you in the drawing, remember you can pause at any point. Just hit the pause and then resume. Okay, Dalmatian. I've got a Dalmatian butt there. Let me move this. Quite a chunky, got quite a chunky bum. I know Dalmatians are a little more lean. This guy's, maybe he's just had a big Christmas feast. Okay, so similar to kind of my cat bum. Coming down into thin legs here. Again, the back of the paw is just kind of like a rounded. Rounded stump for a paw. And then I've got his tail coming like kind of down and over. But if you want his tail, you know, up, maybe it's wagging, any angle that you want the tail, literally any direction you want it. So I like to start the tail like a kind of a V shape before I get into the tail itself. Mine's curling to the left. Yours could curl in any direction. You have an eraser. Don't be afraid to use your eraser. I tend to not erase and just draw a line, like a new line where I want it, and just leave the old line there. Because I know all of this is getting covered with paint. Okay, here's a head. A little bit higher up head with a little toque. And I've got like, you know, floppy dog ears coming out the side here. I don't know how to describe that shape. Just a floppy dog ear. They don't even have to be the same. Mine are different. And a scarf. Pick the direction you want the scarf to go. Mine's going to the right in this case. Yeah, if you're maybe not doing a Dalmatian and you're doing a different kind of dog, change the ear shape, change the tail, maybe it's more puffy. You can change like the markings on it, of course. You can draw, maybe your dog has little sock feet or patches on its back or on its tail is a different color on the tip. Yeah, that's pretty much all we need to do for this sketch. So you can put away your pencil, eraser, your ruler. We are going to actually get to painting now. Okay, we are going to do the background colors first. And remember, any colors anywhere. Any colors anywhere. Different, could be 4 different shades of pink, 4 different shades of green. Make it match your bedroom. So I'm going to use kind of a bigger brush. If you're working on a smaller scale, smaller paper, smaller canvas, maybe a medium is what you need. You be the judge. I like to get my brushes wet. Get it wet. I'm going to do a lovely green, and I don't have any green yet, but I'm going to make some green. So green is blue, a little bit of blue, plus yellow. Now, of course, if you aren't ready for paint yet, just pause the video. And then when you're ready for paint, unpause. So there's a lovely, I can flip this around so you can see it better. Shamrock green, I would call that. Shamrock green. If you want a more pastel color, grab a little bit of white. A little white with your green. Darken your green with blue. If you want it darker, blue, not black. If you darken with black, it'll go grayish. Any shade of green. Mine's looking more like Kelly green. I don't know. Let's give it a little test run. Oops, there's a little blobby. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Any shade of green. I'm not going to get the exact same shade of green I did before. I'm probably not going to get the exact same shade of purple I did before, but that's okay. That's okay. So we're painting just the background. It's okay if, where did this smudge come from? The dividing line between colors. It's okay if it's a little messy because we're going to put snowflakes along it. So if I bring this closer, from a distance, it looks like, wow, look at all those straight, beautiful, perfect lines. But if you look closer, you can see bits where my blue went, whoa. But you don't see that from a distance because the snowflakes hide it all. So don't fuss too much of making the lines like perfect on the edges. Yeah, see, even right now I've already gone over the line. So we are trying to stay outside the lines, but it's okay if a little bit goes like onto the corgi a little bit. We're going to cover that up. And we want to do a thin, even coat. No thick globs. It's pretty much going to be our rule, our mantra for the whole painting. Thin, even layers, no thick globs. I'm going to say it at least 4 more times. I just have this feeling. Let's say you're doing like a tiny little area between something and you want to grab your smaller brush. Absolutely. Just because I'm still using my big brush doesn't mean you still have to suffer with a big brush if you want to get to a little small area with a small brush. And like some of my areas are a little lighter, a little darker than others. I just haven't fully mixed the paint 100%, and that's okay. If you have little subtle differences in the color, even if you like run out and have to make more green and it's slightly different, that's okay. We have some very distracting snowflakes all over the piece. Plus it gives it like a lovely bit of texture, just some interest, added interest in the background if there are slightly different colors. Well, his feet look a little squared off right now, but when I actually paint the paws, I'll round them out a little better. There we go, lovely, even, thin coat of green. I just kind of, go over it, just spreading out any thick globby bits. Green. If you, for bonus, like dimension in your background, you can get a little white on your brush. So I'm not even gonna wash my brush. Get a little white if you want to do this, and you kind of brush some white into the green, and it'll change greenish. The white will go a little greenish. And I do like crisscrossy strokes, just to give it a little more dimension, get a little bit of white. Just so that it's not like just flat green, but this is just a bonus. It's very subtle. Bonus step if you do want to add a little white, crisscrossy. But again, lots of that's going to get covered with snowflakes. We don't really see that. Yeah, I'm happy with the green. I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to do my purple section. This could easily be pink, orange, red. What is your cat's favorite color? Have they told you? If you know your cat's favorite color, then maybe do the background that color. They could have a favorite color. What did I say? Purple. Now everyone's going to get a different shade of purple because we are using different brands of colors. We're using different, I've got some ultramarine blue. Maybe you're using cobalt blue, bright red versus maybe like a crimson red. So everyone's purples are going to be different, and that's fine. Purple is red plus blue, a little bit of blue, Ultramarine works really well with much more red. So here's a little area, kind of turn it so we can see. Red plus blue. It's going to look very dark to start with, and you're like, that is not purple, that's like black. Very dark, dark purple. Super dark. Like wine. And that's not what we want. We want a lighter purple. Rebecca's son Arthur says hi. Hello. So glad you could join me, Arthur. And I'm going to grab a little white. So with my dark, dark purple, add some lovely white. And look, it just springs to life. It becomes much closer to the purple in my painting. You can add some more blue. So I'm going for kind of like a lilac color. Yours could be more reddish, pinkish. Yours could be more bluish. Just adding the white really brought it to life. Beautiful pastel. Look at that, that's gorgeous. Give it a little test. See if you like it. Add a little water just to make it a little bit more spreadable. If your paint is going on your canvas and you're getting these kind of textury, streaky, add a little water. A little water will help you get into those little textury holes. A little bit of water. Every now and then, just dunk it. Dunk it. Here we go. That's a gorgeous purple. I like it. Yep, I'm going to paint the whole background this color. Again, I'm not going to fret about the edge being a little wonky or uneven or not perfect. That'll get covered up with beautiful snowflakes. And they're the most simple snowflake you can make. I really haven't added any details to them. It's just like the 6 branches of the arms. The impression of a snowflake. Again, a thin, even layer, no thick globbies. You've heard it before. If there's some areas of your purple that's a little bit more reddish, because you didn't fully mix it like me, that's okay. If this is your very first butts painting, I was mentioning we have 3 others already, we've already done. Those are still available to do on our YouTube, right here where you are at right now. We have 3 others. We've got Safari Butts, which has an elephant and a hippo and a zebra, which was the one that started it all. And then we did Barnyard Butts, which is a cow, a pig, and a llama. We did that one, I think it was September. And then last month we did Woodland Butts, like a birch tree woods with raccoon, deer, and skunk. Super cute. Those are all available for free right now on our YouTube channel. You can get caught up on your butt series. All right, this little kitty cat area, I might switch to a smaller brush to get in those little detailed areas. Any paint on my arms yet? Not yet. Purple, thin, even, no thick globs. Get right to the edge, get right to the top. Let me grab, I'm gonna get in those little areas. Right in here. I hope we have lots and lots of kids tuning in. I love seeing all the different ages, all the different styles. All the kid ones always turn out amazing. I mean, adults too, but I have a special spot in my heart for the kids painting from my tutorials. They're uninhibited. They just do what they want. Carefree. They're carefree. That's the main thing. Just here for fun. Okay, so I've got a lovely even coat on my purple background. Again, if you want to add a little white, even just on your dirty brush, a little white, just kind of blend it in, crisscrossy brush strokes, lightly streaked around. Just gives it a little extra texture, but not much. Just a little bit here and there. There we go. A little bit of purple, yeah. This edge, I'm not even gonna concern myself with that. That looks good. Yeah, and you can see parts where I've gone onto my sketch, that's fine. My ears don't look as pointy, but when I get the black paint and actually paint the ears, I'll make them pointy again. All right, give that a good rinse. Again, if you're not quite ready for the next step, just hit pause. All right, good rinse, good wipe. I'm going to do a blue background here. Change it up to something different if you like. I'm going to do like a medium blue, not too dark, not too light. So I've got quite a dark blue here, blue plus some white, white plus blue. Give a little mix, maybe a little water. It's very thick. Yeah, nice medium blue. Could be baby blue if you want it lighter. Give a little test. Do you like that shade? Do you want it darker or lighter? I think that's a good color. Yeah. All right, I'll go ahead with that blue for this background. Again, thin, even coat, no thick globs. Yeah, so because we're doing thin, even coats, this first section with the green is already perfectly dry. So by the time we do this and then this, then we move right back up to here again. And we always go kind of in that order. Maybe it's easier for you to paint near the bottom by picking it up. So you can get down here. Sometimes I even flip it like this, because it might be easier to paint near the top. And then having it way down, and you have to crouch down to get to the bottom. Do what is most comfortable for you. Even sideways, if you want to go sideways, closer to my body. Now, normally I would paint flat on the table. I'm sure a number of you are painting with your canvas or your paper on the table. That is usually my preference as well. Just for demonstration, it's easier on the easel for you. I guess I could get my overhead camera going. Set it up that way. This is good. This is good. Go. Smooth it all out. That's a gorgeous bright blue. Beautiful. I like the color. It's a good color. Spread it, spread it, spread it. Yeah, even like I have like little bits where the canvas is showing a little bit. I'm not too concerned. We're going to put some snowflakes on top of that. I will do a little bit of the white. That little bonus step of streaking in a little crisscrossy white for texture. Don't have to if you don't like the look. Okay, no, I like that. Good. And then orange. Yeah, if you're already ready for the next background, go ahead with orange. Yeah, looks good. Gonna give that a rinse. Good rinse, good dry. We don't want any blue to get in our orange mixture, so give that a really thorough clean. Yeah, orange and blue. That's gonna make brown. We don't want brown. I mean, you could have a brown background. That's a choice. Okay. So orange. Well, we learned how to make orange in grade school. Yellow plus red. Now, red is a very potent color, same with the blue. So when we made purple, there was a little bit of blue and a lot more red. Now we're going to do a little bit of red with a lot more yellow. So a little bit of red with yellow, make it orange. And add little bits of red at a time until you're at your desired shade of orange, like an orange crush color, or it could be darker. And I like to add a little white, so I'm going to grab a little white, just a little. Give that a little test. So again, a little bit of red with a lot more yellow. And a scooch of white if you want to add a little white. That's pretty good. I like that color. I'll go ahead and do my orange background. Which way would be? I might turn it upside down so it's closer to me. Easier when it's closer. My purple area is nice and dry, so I'm not getting any purple and orange blended together here. And then I'm just going to go carefully where my orange and blue touch so that I don't get any mashed up colors of orange and blue. I hope everyone's having a great new year so far, 2022. I'm having a great new year myself. Doing lots of painting, lots of tobogganing. Ooh, got a little bit of blue and orange. If you do get a little blue in your paintbrush, just wipe it off. Get it out of there. We don't want you. Go. Upside down. Get that edge, get to the bottom. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the white, get a little white. I'll work it in. Blending in, more subtle. Ooh, a little over the line, that's all right. Okay, all right. Looking good. Yeah. The important thing is don't be too self-critical. This is the very beginning of the painting. People don't usually view your painting from 6 inches away, so they're not going to see those little, like I got a little blue that's got onto purple, oops, you know, I had some spillies earlier, but people will look at your painting from the other side of the room. Wow. So don't be too self-critical at this point or at any point. Okay, that's looking good. So yeah, these ones are still wet, but up here, nice and dry. This one, nice and dry. We can start working on filling in our corgi, cat, all in order like that. Well, I have orange on my brush. Now, I'm not sure if you guys also did orange as your last background color, but there is quite a bit of orange on the corgi. So why would I waste this beautiful orange that's in my brush when I could just get some orange going in my corgi? So I've got kind of like a lighter orangey head, and then darker ears, and then kind of darker on the top of his rump here. So I've got some orange here. I'm gonna add a little white to lighten it a little, and I'll just do his head. Now I know I have a big brush right now, but I can switch to my like medium or small at any point. You want to switch to medium or small. I'm just going to use up what I've got on this brush before I switch. It's like a light orange head. Melanie and her 11-year-old daughter is doing this. Awesome. I also have an 11-year-old daughter, but she's not doing this. I don't know what she's doing. Minecraft, most likely. Okay. I am gonna turf my big brush now. I'm gonna give him a good wash and a good dry. I probably won't use my big brush from here on out, so I'll use my medium and my small. Yeah, all covered in paint. Where's it all coming from? All right. Medium, yeah, medium's good. If yours is a medium flat or medium round, that works. So I've got kind of a lighter orange head. I want kind of a little bit darker orange on the ears and the like bum and tail. So I'm going to add a little more red, which makes it like a richer orange. We don't need a lot. We don't need a lot. Okay, now very tiny amount of black. I'm going to get like a little corner of black, a speck, like a sesame seed, and mix it into my orange so that it's kind of brownish. The tiniest speck, just a tiny bit brownish orange, but try to get the absolute smallest amount of black you can get on your brush. Yeah, so it's like orangey brownie. So I'm going to do kind of the upper back rump area and the tail. Cover up that green bit. And you can kind of make little brush strokes that kind of remind you of fur. Like it doesn't have to be like perfectly smooth. If it's a little bit textured and little brush strokes like this to remind you of fur, then it's going to start looking like this is a dog. And we are going to add like highlights and shadows to give it some depth. Yeah, so this is like an orange with a little brown in it. A burnt kind of a color. Okay, I've got some there. I could also put a little bit kind of around the sides, just a little bit. And we are going to add white in these empty areas. We're not going to just leave the canvas just like naked. We are going to put white there, a little bit there. I did put a little bit of this orangey brown near his ankles. There's a little bit near his ankles there. Now some of this will get covered up with some white. Some of it might blend into the white and become lighter. That's fine. Add some of this darker orange on his ears. And you can customize this too. So what if your corgi has white ear tips? They could. So you can add a little white to your ear tips to make it look like your corgi. Maybe your corgi is more brownish than orangish. You can add a little tiny bit more black in there with your orange to make it browner. Okay, so just slightly darker corgi ears. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to rinse out all this orangey brown. Rinse it. And we'll add some just white. White on the foofy pants of the corgi. I know it's white on white, but it is, you know, it's slightly different. It has a different texture. We do want to paint the white part of these animals. So the white dalmatian is white paint, not just white canvas. Painting this white. If a little of the white and orange overlap and touch and blend, that's fine, that's good. Just give it some furry texture, make it seem like a furry animal with little furry marks. Get those feet too. Oh, did I get paint on my sweater? Nope. Get those little white feet. Now if some of your orange gets covered up and you want to put some of that back in afterwards, you can. I probably will. So some of my orange is getting covered, that's fine. Fluff them up. Little feet. Like near the outer edges of your corgi, you can even put some little fluffs that go onto the background. Give it like a furry edge. Near the very edge, you can fuzz him up onto the background. Very fluffy. Inner thighs, outer thighs, fluff them up. Grab a little bit more of your orange or orangey brown. And put some little streaks in there, little strokes with small brush, medium brush. On the tail, wherever. You're looking furrier by the minute. Now play around with your white, with your orange. Fluffy brush strokes. That's good. We are going to add some black as well. What do I have on my brush? I do want to add a little bit of white before I get to the black. I mentioned you could do a little bit of white on the ear tips. Whether or not they have like actual white on the ear tips, you could just add a little white as like a highlight. A little white on the tips of the ears. Gives it a little more dimension. You can add a little white on the tail. Gives it like a floofy. Yeah, maybe a little on the head as a bit of a highlight. And then when you're happy with the amount of white you have going on, you get some black. We'll do kind of not really outlines, but like shading around some outer edges. I'm going to use my thin brush with the black. I like to add a little water. If I'm doing fine lines and like furry texture, I like to add a little water to my brush. And if your thin brush is a little old like mine and it's kind of like flayed out and it's not like together, I twirl my brush in the black paint. Twirl, I'm twisting and turning, and that helps the paint kind of make the brush bristles stick back together again. So I've got a little bit of black around his tail, around his kind of legs, and these could be messy brush strokes. They don't have to be perfect fine lines. Like some of mine are thick, some are thin, short, long, wiggly. Around his feet a little bit, maybe to help define where the back and the head are separated, a little bit of black in there. Yeah, it doesn't need to be everywhere, but it does help. Maybe some near like the base of the ears, because we've got some white near the tips. I went underneath the toque, the hat, or like the shadow of the hat, but I haven't painted the hat yet. Okay. Yeah, just very sparing with the black here and there. Yeah, I think that's done on the corgi. Apart from the hat and the scarf. I think we'll do all the hats and the scarves like all together. So I'll just leave the hat and scarf for now. I'm going to move on to my cat in a second. Okay. Yeah, my cat is going to be black with white socks and like a white tip tail. Your cat could be any color. And it doesn't have to be a natural color. It could be a pink cat if you really want, a yellow cat. The sky is the limit, a striped cat. Yes, Patricia, the video is going to be up forever. So after the live event is done, it'll be immediately on our YouTube channel there, Artist Palette Durham. You could even set the playback back right now. If you want to start this video from the beginning, right now you can. If you came in a little late. Okay, so I'm going to do black on my, whoops. Let's get a tissue. A little boo-boo, but that's going to be a snowflake later. That's fine. A little water. Put a snowflake right there. There we go. Beauty. Black cat or orange cat. white cat, but definitely do paint the white if it's going to be a white cat. If you want to make your cat like a long-haired cat, you can have some of these wispy edges on your cat. I think most people would have a short-haired cat. I think that's the most popular type of cat. If you want to have white socks or lighter colored socks, stop at a certain point. It's much easier to paint a lighter color when you haven't already painted that area black. Again, we're doing a nice thin, light, even layer, no thick globbies. There's my black cat butt. I'll paint kind of most of the tail, but not all of the tail. Yeah, maybe about that much. I'll paint the head and the ears. Got my small brush for the ears. Nice and smooth and even, no thick globs. Okay, I will add my white socks at this point. White socks, gray socks could be a thing. Maybe you want to put actual winter boots on any of your animals. Put some red galoshes on him, would be cute. Yeah, and if your black is still a little wet and the white and the black kind of blend and make gray, that's all right. That's fine. My black is already pretty dry because I've done it very thinly, so my white is not blending with my black too bad. I'll do the white tip of the tail. Now, because it's like a black tail against a black head and a black body, you kind of lose where the tail is. So I highlighted with some white on top of the black to kind of show where the tail is going. So it's like outlines, but in white. And also I put a little white kind of along like his rump, his back, to kind of differentiate between the head and the butt area. I also did add a little white on his ears and a little bit kind of around the bum hole, very subtly. Very, very, very subtle. Now, if you've done a nice thin layer of black, it's already starting to dry somewhat. Mine's still a little wet in patches. But even if some of your white sort of outlines and highlights turn a little bit gray, that's fine. So I'm going to get some white and kind of redraw where the tail kind of swoops. But kind of very light, very wispy. It doesn't have to be very bold. And then I'll do a little white outline or highlight of the back. You could do a little bit down the legs. Streakies of white down the legs. Gives it more dimension. Mine's very wispy. Not consistent. Thick in areas, thin in others. A little bit on the ears and could be on the side of the head too. Very wispy. And then the wispiest of them all, just a little bit around where that snowflake is going to go. We're not going to do the snowflake quite yet. I want to do all the snowflakes all together. But kind of around there. Very light wisps. The most subtle, very subtle little wisps around that area. It's pretty good. I will add, so we've added some white onto the black portion of the cat. I am going to add a little black onto the white to give it some shading. Even if it's grayish, like just a little gray or a little black on my little brush. Just to give these areas some texture, dimension, shading, all of the above. And let's say you put like too much black or too much gray. Get some white and kind of soften it again. And cover up with some white. Yeah, it's very wispy. Wispy, wispy. Susan's laughing out loud. This part. Susan's a little obsessed like me with cat bottoms. And then I will add a little bit of gray or black to the tail just to give it a little more dimension. Just a little bit, tiny bit. That looks good. Yeah, that's really it for the cat, apart from like the scarf and the hat, which we can do kind of all of those all at once. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, give that a little rinse. I'm going to do a gray bunny. Get this out of the way. Gray bunny could be black, white, brown, spotted, pink bunny, blue bunny, a made-up bunny. Maybe you switched bunny for guinea pig, which would be adorable. Gray, so black a little black plus white, because the black is very potent. Black plus white is gray. You pick the shade of gray, like a soft gray, a really deep slate gray. That's pretty good. We are going to add highlights and shadows, so a nice middle of the road gray so that you're able to highlight with white, darken with black. That's pretty good. I like that. All right, let's give that a nice coat, nice thin even coat. If you want to, fill it in, making little textural brush marks to give it some texture, that works for me. Or if you like it more smooth, if you have one of those really fluffy, is it like Angora bunnies? Is that right? You can kind of do the same kind of fluff of the corgi on the outer edge of your bunny. You fluff them up. So I'm gonna not do his little puffy cotton ball tail. That's gonna be white, but really all the bunnies that I've seen in the past, like if it's a black bunny, it has a black tail. If it's a gray bunny, it really would have a gray tail. The white cotton ball tail is kind of like a stereotype. And some bunnies have like white on like the underside, and then they like flick up their tail like a deer flicks up their tail like in alarm. My fluffy bunny feet. And you can even see tiny bits, like I didn't fully mix my gray. There's still some white and some darker bits, so it's already giving me kind of a texture, like accidentally / purposefully. Okay, we'll leave that. I'll do the head for sure and the ears. Head, ears. My favorite part of this painting, apart from that area, is the snowflakes themselves. It really adds a beautiful, frosty effect, and you're gonna love the application of them. And you'll want to make how many snowflakes is that? 200. I don't know. You're gonna want to make 400. It's just so fun. Okay. There is my bunny, nice gray bunny. I do want to add highlights and shadows, like even though it's not fully dry yet. Should we do? Let's do the white of the tail, and then we'll add all the highlights and shadows. So just plain old white tail. If you want to kind of apply it kind of dabbly to give it a little bit of texture, that's fine. I suppose this is one case where a little bit of thicker paint, I'll allow it. A little bit of dabby blobs of the white cottontail on the bunny. Even if some of the gray around it mixes in, that's fine. We're going to add gray and black here in a second. So don't worry if you accidentally got some gray in it. There's no accidents here. That's good. Okay, so I was saying highlights and shadows, black and white. So even if you've done like a different color bunny, like a brown bunny, black bunny, you still want to highlight with white. I mean, if you've done a white bunny, you don't need any highlights. It's white enough. So I have picked sort of like the left as the light source. So I put a little white on the left of the ear, left of the ear, left of the head, left of the body, left of this foot. And then I'm imagining the shaded side is the right. So black on the right, black on the right, black on the right, black on the bottom. I did kind of black all the way around just to emphasize that little cottontail. But we'll do this together with our little brush. Come here. Little brush. I'm going to start with my white, my highlights. And again, these lines could be messy, wispy. They don't have to be like solid. So I want to have some white on the left side of this ear. Left side of that ear. Left side of his or her head. Left side of the body. And it could be like a line, it could be little fuzzy fur texture brush strokes. Let's get some more fuzzy texture in here. If it's like blending with your gray, because your gray is still wet, perfect. A little bit on this foot. Even maybe a little bit on this foot. Top of the foot, sure, why not? There, it's looking fuzzier already. Right. And then same kind of thing, but with black on the other side. If you don't want to do like straight black and you want to do like a dark, 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 dark gray, do that. So we've got some black on the little brush. The right side of things. So the right side of this ear. Right side of this ear. Right side of the head. Maybe underneath. I'm going to do kind of under where the hat is going to be, right here. Down the right side of the body. Give them some texture. Under the bum. Under the foot. Lucky rabbit feet. Right under there. And then I just kind of go around the tail, but kind of like messy, blobby cloud shape. And if it blends with the white, perfect. A little gray. You can even get some of your gray from your bunny. Put some gray in here. Give it a little texture. Fluff it up. A little white, a little gray, a little black. All kind of jumbled around in there. Just a hot mess of brush strokes. Makes it look textured, puffy. Get some more texture in there. You can go gray, dark gray, black. Get some more white in there. You can texturize your whole bunny if you want. Yeah, up close, it looks a hot mess, but from a distance, it looks like a 3D bunny. Good, 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 good. Again, we're going to do the hat and the scarf in a little bit. Yeah, that looks good if you want to. More last little bits of white. Okay. The Dalmatian. Give that a good wash. We want white paint. Yeah, change the color if you want to do a different breed of dog, of course. I'm going to just do white, coat of white for a Dalmatian. And I'm going to paint now right over my tail. Paint over that. We're going to add some shadows to get that shape back. Again, thin, even coat of white. This will dry in moments, and we can add dots. Sometimes my pencil and my white combine and make like a light gray, and I'm not mad at, because we're about to add a light gray as shading. It's almost doing it for me. Especially if you've used a very dark, soft lead like a B pencil, 2B or 4B. Sometimes those pencils blend with my white paint. That's all right. Puppy dog ears. There we go. Nice coat of white on my dog. Looks like a ghost. That's good. It'll dry quickly. So we're going to add gray, little black as our shading. I'm going to use my thin brush here. And light gray, so like maybe this shade, but a little lighter, so add a little more white. Light gray. I like to add a little water. There's some light gray. So I kind of went around the whole dog, like where I had pencil lines. So I'll go around legs, the butt, the tail, the ears, the head, just to kind of get those shapes established again. Because like where's the butt start? Where does the head start? The tail really got lost. So with some light gray, we can just kind of redraw those things in again. Mine's very light. If you want to go a little darker, that's fine. And these lines could be wispy, thick, thin in places. They don't have to be consistent. Betsy says, amazing. And how am I so good? Well, it takes practice, 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 and more practice. That's literally all there is to it. It's just repetition. and a little bit of confidence. Gotta have some confidence. Just go for it. Light gray. Even down the legs a little bit with the light gray. Look how messy mine is. It's not perfect. From a distance, that looks pretty good. But if you ever look at my paintings close up, I'm not perfect. I don't expect you guys to be perfect. Messy, wispy, sketchy lines makes the world go round. Light gray. Yeah. I will add a little black here and there. So same thing, kind of wispy, sketchy lines, and a little bit darker, just for emphasis. Here and there. Jared asked, what is your next paintings going to be? Well, you're in luck because I will show you probably about 5 or 6 upcoming projects when we're done this. So stay tuned after this painting. I'll show you the upcoming stuff I have. Lots of beautiful, colorful animals. All right, so there's a little black here and there. We'll do a little bit of black or gray under that hat, where the hat is going to be. Going to be there. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, maybe you have a white dog at home. Maybe it's like a whippet or something. You could leave it like that. I'm going to add spots, and my spots are not round. They're not consistent. They're weird shapes. So that's what I want you to do. So you can either use your thin brush with some black paint, or you can use the butt of the brush. I might do a combination of the two. So make weird lumpy shapes, not all perfectly circles, because they're not like that. Big ones, small ones, and these are just shapes I'm making with the butt of the brush. We're painting butts with the butt of the brush. Yeah, there's like so many different Dalmatians out there. There's some that are mostly white with a few spots. There's some that are really patterned. I'll get some big ones, some small ones, and yeah, don't have them all evenly spaced. If they're all evenly, perfectly 1 centimeter apart, it's going to look very fake and contrived. So have them kind of touching each other, random little groupings, little speckly, misshapen things on the ears, on the tail. It'd be funny to give the Dalmatian a spotted scarf later on instead of like like a plain scarf. Do a spotted scarf. Wouldn't that be funny? Such a little detail that would make me laugh if I saw it. And there's tiny, tiny little stuff too. So sometimes I'm just kind of like, with whatever paint is on my brush, I'm just kind of smudging and speckling it. Don't forget your tail. Oh, that's pretty good. Small ones, big ones, little freckles. And yeah, mine are not round. I defy you to find a round one. And don't forget to clean off your butt. It's a life tip. Clean your butt. Jared said they did the woodland butts. Excellent. That was a good one. Yeah, I keep talking about all these different butt paintings. I could show you, if this is your very first one you're joining us for. Could be. Let me show you the other ones. They are right here. So if you want to go back and look in on our channel, Safari Butts from, I think, August, around then. Safari Butts. Barnyard Butts. Probably early September. I think we did that one. If you want to watch that video. Barnyard. And then the most recent in December. Woodland. That's when Jared speaks of. That was the most recent. Woodland Butts. Look back at our videos and do the whole series. All right. So scarves and hats, and then we can get to our beautiful snowflake decorating. Any colors, anywhere. Any colors, anywhere. I'm going to do completely different colors than I did over here, just because I can. Because who wants to have an exactly the same painting as before? I'm going to do, this bunny is going to have a red hat. Any colors, anywhere. If you want to go again in order, that's fine. Do you want your animals to have matching hat and scarf? I did matching. Doesn't have to be. Literally any color, anywhere. And I will show you how to highlight and shade like one of them, and then you just take that and you run with it for the rest of them. Again, a thin, even layer, no thick globbies. Yep, so there's a nice even layer of red for my bunny. Now a little highlight and a little shading. So even if the paint is still wet, you can still highlight and shadow that. Highlight with white. So again, I'm picturing for all of these that the light source is on the left, top left. So like the top of the bunny's little hat, the left side, a little white. And the white will blend in with the color, in this case red. So it's turning a little pink. I'm not mad about it. That's fine. And then a little white maybe along the top of the scarf, along the top of here. This again could be streaky, messy, wibbly lines. Don't have to be solid lines. Maybe a little white on the top of this part. Turns a little pink. I'm not mad at that. Okay, a little white. And then a little black as the shadowing. Now if you want to make like maybe black plus red, mix some of that together instead of just doing straight black. On the opposite side, so in this case the right side, the bottom side, white on the left, black on the right, white on the top, black on the bottom. Pretty much for all of them. And then, you know, you can add a pom-pom of a complementing color, a pom-pom of the same color. Maybe you want to give everyone a white pom-pom. Tassels on this scarf could be, again, complementing color, opposite color, white tassels for all of them, black tassels for all of them. I'm going to do blue. Blue? No, not blue, because I've got blue background. Well, dark blue. Let's see what that looks like. Any kind of tassels, long, short, thick, thin, rainbow. There's some tassels on that. Let's give them a blue pom-pom, just like a spiky. I like to add some white in there too. Get some white. Any color pom-pom. That looks pretty good. You could do a pattern on any of this. Dots, stripes, zigzags. All right. I'm going to just do all the hats, all the scarves. I'm going to do green. Let's do green. Any shade of green. You know how like some hats have little ears on them, like little cat ears? Wouldn't it be funny to put a little cat ear hat on the dog? That'd be hilarious. Or like, there's some hats where it looks like you have like a dinosaur like fringe. That'd be funny too. Or like a hat. Or like a jester hat. Like a court jester hat would be hilarious. Give him a hockey helmet. Why not? Okay, there's my green scarf. Highlight with white, shadow with black. Black. Yeah, and the black blends with the green. That's fine. The white blends with the green. That's fine. Let's give him a pom-pom. What color? Pink? Sure. Guess we haven't really made pink. Red plus white is pink. If you want a pink pom-pom or a pink scarf. I like to put two colors in my pom-pom, so you can add some white in your pom-pom or add a darker shade in your pom-pom. More depth. Oh, that's super cute. All right, I did like the idea of the pink for maybe my corgi. Cute. Okay, a little white, a little black. I can't wait to show you the snowflake effect, guys. It's gonna be fun, fun, fun. Because yeah, it looks nice. It looks sort of wintry with the hats and the scarves, but it doesn't yet scream frosty yet. It will. And I mean, yellow. Yellow, nice and bright. Let's do all this. Got a yellowy. Yeah, the yellow's a good choice. The black cat, the yellow scarf, the purple background, loving it. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Highlight. Gotta finish on my little tassels. I kind of skipped over the tassel part of the scarf. Scarves. Tassels, yeah. Multiple blue. I'll do some pink. do some pink. Yas, yas, I love it. All right. Hats, scarves, fringe, pom-poms, shading, highlights, it's got it all. It's got it all. So even if you're still working on those elements, you can watch me do the snowflakes, and then you could just do those at your own pace. Where is my little... So yeah, I had said get some scissors and a little bit of thin cardboard. So from a cereal box or granola bar box, words, good. Yeah, any kind of thin cardboard. Just grab something from the recycling bin, really. Cut some little, got two kind of shapes of rectangles. Now I could use this side to make kind of like a medium line. This side can make a longer line. This one can make a shorter. This could be longer. We're going to literally dip it in white paint and then stamp it. I might need some more white because I'm pretty low on like clean white, and I want clean white. Where's some white? No, that's not enough. I want clean white. Stamp it. There we go. Nice clean white. So first I'm going to go all along those joints there to kind of disguise my little messy edges. It could be consistently sized snowflakes all the way along, or mix it up, do like small, big, small, big, small, big, whatever you want to do. What size? I think I'm going to go for fairly small. So I literally take my little cardboard, stamp it in white. Do a few little test stamps, like on a dry part of your palette, on the edge of your palette. Do a little testing on your tablecloth before you get right to it. And they won't be like perfectly perfect. That's all right. So what I do for snowflakes, I do an X. First I do an X, and then I do the cross beam. And it makes a little six-pointed shape. So again, I do an X, and then the cross beam, just like that. And if you're not ready for this part, just keep on going on the rest of your painting. An X, and then the cross beam. And it's okay if they're not perfectly on the line. It's all right if they're not evenly spaced. You can like purposely make them messy, they're a little wonky, a little globby. That one's real globby. Just have fun with it. And then maybe you want to do a big one in the middle. Using a bigger piece. Bigger one in the middle. Do a couple of test dabs. Like that. Just really have fun with this. And you could cut different sizes, different shapes. If yours is maybe getting a little bit soaked with paint and it's starting to get really fat, cut a new one. Cut a new one. Again, an X, and then the cross beam. Whoa, that one's real wonky. That's all right. Even the wonky ones are a little endearing. I like them. What time is it? Ooh, it's been 2 hours. Perfect timing. So do all the cross, do all the up and down, and then just literally go wild on the rest of it. So it doesn't have to be just on the background. You could do it on an animal, on the corgi, on the bunny, plus the background. All over, different sizes. Really, really go to town. The Dalmatian's a little bit hard to see them on. He's mostly white, but that. You can really see that one on the scarf, his hat maybe. And even sometimes my snowflakes are a little bit like weaker, not as much paint on my dabbing tool. That's fine. Yeah. A snowflake that's half melted. An X and then across. X, across. Thank you, Betsy. Betsy likes the rabbit. Thank you. And then I also did add dots. So after I went wild with the snowflakes, I went wild with dotting. So you can use, again, the butt of the paintbrush. If you want to have, real big dots, use your big paintbrush, medium, small, literally just dot, 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 dot. Oh, we definitely need to do that snowflake. Dot, 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 dot. On the animals, on the background. Dots all over. Maybe some snow has accumulated on some of your animals, like on the top of the hat. Some snow has been building up, or on the tops of the ears. You can dot a whole bunch on the tips of the ears because it's been snowing for a while. On the along the back of the corgi, maybe he's got some snow right here built up. Dot, dot, dot. There could be snow on the ground if you want to have like dotted snow by their feet or along the ground. As an option, right in there could be a little snow pile. But I definitely want to get that little suggestion of a snowflake by the bum here. There we go, right there. That's my favorite part. All right, let's get some more snowflakes going. I'll do a few more of these snowflakes and then I'll show you what's upcoming with me, both paid events and free events. I'll show you what's coming up. Now I do a lot of watercolor. I know we're doing acrylics right now, but I've got quite a bit of watercolors coming up that I can show you. Yeah, so my paint is soaking into my cardboard, which is making it kind of bloated and fat, so I can just flip over and use the nice thin one. Nice thin to continue the pattern. There we go. Okay, so before too many of you leave, I do have a tip link. It is in the description of this video if you want to send me a little tip. If you enjoyed your afternoon with me, maybe you've enjoyed doing the whole Butts series. all 4 of them and you want to show how much you've appreciated my time teaching you the Butt series, you want to send me a little something. It's kristenartist@hotmail.com or paypal.me/kristenartist. There's a link in the description. I think that's down below. I do appreciate any little tips you give me. That, of course, goes towards more art supplies so I can continue teaching you guys more free events. I do get excited when I get a little tip. And then, oh yeah, all the stuff coming up is right over here. Right over here. So this is an acrylic painting that's coming up. I think it's in 1 week, actually. What's the date today? Yeah, this is next Saturday. Jasper National Park. It's an acrylic. This is kind of like giving me Bob Ross vibes, you know? Those distant mountains and then that big bravery test tree of his. So this one is a ticket event on Zoom. Tickets on the website, artistpaletteDurham.com. Join me next Saturday if that tickles your fancy in acrylic. I have a number of watercolors, if I could reach them. Come here. Here we go. So let's go with, ooh, Chinese New Year's coming up. Lunar New Year's coming up. We're doing this one, Welcome Year of the Tiger. There's a little bit of shiny metallic paint in there. Watercolor on paper. This is January, I want to say January 27th, with the Lunar New Year being February 1st, just before the Lunar New Year. Watercolor on Zoom, tickets on the website. Here's a couple more watercolors on Zoom. Chihuahua. I got the like Beverly Hills Chihuahua song stuck in my head while doing this. You know the one? This one's on Zoom, tickets on the website. Chihuahua. I believe it's February 3rd, I want to say, February 3rd. If you enjoy my teaching style, my art style, join me for one of the Zoom events. And if you don't want to send me a tip, grab a ticket to one of my events. That's another way to support your favorite online artists, is to buy tickets to their paid events, as well as attending their free events. So this one is a perfect pair. Get it? Watercolor on Zoom again, February. I want to say the 12th. That's my guess. I can't exactly remember. Watercolors. Very beginner friendly. All these watercolors I'm showing you, very beginner friendly. Those 3 in particular come with outlines that you can trace beforehand, so it's not fully freehand. And then this one hasn't even been posted yet. This is brand new, top secret, hasn't been posted yet. My next free YouTube live event. So if you like the live aspect of it and the free aspect of it, and you like my style, ooh, ta-da! We haven't even posted this one. It is brand new. I made it yesterday. It looks like watercolor. It is coffee and tea. And I appropriately made coffee and tea cups. So we're going to use black pen to the drawing, and then we literally paint with coffee and tea. It's so much fun. Smells really good. Instant coffee works best. And then I've got this black cherry tea, which gives me kind of like a purpley red tea. And that's that kind of purpley red color that you see. This is going to be so much fun. So you don't need to buy a watercolor set to make a watercolor-esque painting. Look at that. I forget what we are calling this. Probably something like tipsy teacups or something. But coffee and tea as a paint is so much fun. Join me for that. February, I want to say 26. If that's a Saturday, join me for this one right here on YouTube Live for free. All right. So after I sign off of this live, I'm going to go back to our Facebook page to this event. I'm going to make a post, and that's where I would love to see all your results. So kids, adults, beginners, advanced. I want to see everyone's results on the Facebook page of this event. And then you get to see everyone else's, and they're all going to be beautiful and unique and amazing. And it's just a fun place to see all the different color combinations, different animals maybe. So much fun. So I'll go and make a post for that right away after this. If you guys have questions, let me see if I can read some of this. Bob's Burgers. What are we talking about? Well, they have an art show. Do they paint butts in the art show? That would make sense. Susan, yes. So that's Spirit Island in Jasper. It's like their famous, like where everyone goes to take pictures, Spirit Island in Jasper National Park. Thank you, Betsy. She likes the way I paint. And she's from Ohio. Thank you for joining me. Even if you guys didn't paint along with me and you were just watching and then you'll paint on your own time, that's great too. Lots of people like to first watch the whole process before doing it themselves. I want the teeny tiny one. Where's the teeny tiny one? Yeah, I could just fill this whole thing with like hundreds of snowflakes all day long. Ooh, what if you want to do some blue, light blue snowflakes, silver, gold snowflakes, a rainbow of snowflakes. You could do purple snowflakes. Go for it. You could do pink. I'd love to see that. Let's go paint on it. Yeah, I'm going to probably fill in the rest of this with snowflakes and then also dots. What else could you put? Icicles. You want to put some icicles dripping from the top. Some icicles coming down from here, coming down from here. Maybe like a comical icicle hanging off the bunny's ear or hanging off the cat's tail. An icicle would be hilarious. But I won't bore you with watching me do like another half an hour of dots and things. There's some more dots. Go wild with the dots too. Swirls. Put some swirls in there for like the wind. The wind could be swirling around. There we go. Any other questions? Nope. I don't see any more questions. All right. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and the rest of your weekend. And the rest of your new year. We'll see you maybe in a future YouTube Live or a future Zoom event. I'd love to see you for one of those. All right, no more questions. Bye, guys. Take care.